Hello, champions, princesses, sweet peas, and gangsters. You know who you are. It is awesome to see you again on Sunday morning, and we've been talking about who Jesus is over the last few weeks. Matt's been sharing with us, Jesse's been sharing with us, and this morning I get the privilege to share with you as well. So, this morning we're talking about Jesus is the Good Shepherd, which is an awesome thing. So, I want to start off with a bit of a story first. When I was your age, that is year 6, 7, year 8, year 9, somewhere in there, I used to have a job and I would help my brother and sister as well, who were a bit younger than me. We had to deliver pamphlets in our neighbourhood. And so what mum and dad would do is they would pick them up on a Friday and we would spend Friday night getting pamphlets, junk mail basically, folding them all up because they didn't come with rubber bands on them. We had to actually collate them all and put them all and make different piles of this junk mail. And then on Saturday morning, we'd wake up really early and we'd walk around our neighbourhood and we'd put junk mail in people's letterboxes. It didn't pay very well, let me tell you that. But one of the things that I reflect on was I would know where every dog was in the neighbourhood because I was very scared of dogs. I was very mindful of where they were. I don't mind nice friendly puppies or friendly dogs, but angry dogs, vicious dogs, I knew exactly where these dogs would be hanging out because they would be the houses that they wouldn't get the junk mail in their letterbox. I would just like hock it over the fence because then I'd just beat feet and I'd run out because there was no way I was going to be staying anywhere near those houses. I remember one day I was walking down the road. I was by myself because my brother had gone down further and he was already halfway down the street. And as I was heading down the street, there was a house on my right, and it must have just been some new people because I wasn't aware that there was a dog that lived there. And anyway, I put this junk mail in the letterbox, and who should come bounding down the front steps was this huge German Shepherd. Now, I'm not talking about friendly licking, I'm happy to see you German Shepherd. I'm talking in my headspace, it was like police dog, vicious German Shepherd, like I'm coming to get you. And it come bounding down the stairs and it was going for me big time. It was barking, it was really angry. Of course, I'm just standing there and I'm thinking, oh boy, what am I gonna do? The dog comes beating down the front stairs, swings around the side of the house. The side of the house borders onto the road that I was actually delivering the junk mail on, and the size of the fence was really small. So I knew I was in for a bit of a grief moment. I was in a bit of trouble because I knew this dog would be able to get over the fence. So the dog rips around the side of the house, comes up to the fence. Fence means nothing to it, leaps the fence in one bound, races across the road. And there I was standing. So today we're talking about Jesus is the Good Shepherd. And I want to read this to you so that you can hear the words of Jesus in this space. And I'm going to come back to our story very soon. So we're reading from John chapter 10, Jesus the Good Shepherd. It's the same part of the Bible we were reading from last week when Matt was sharing with us. Jesus says these words in John chapter 10, I am the Good Shepherd. The Good Shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. The hired hand, which is like a helper, is not the shepherd and does not own the sheep. So when he sees the wolf coming, he abandons the sheep and runs away. Then the wolf attacks the flock and scatters it. The man runs away because he is the hired hand and cares nothing for the sheep. Jesus then says, I am the Good Shepherd. I know my sheep and my sheep know me, just as the Father knows me and I know the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. I have other sheep that are not of this sheep pen. I must bring them also. They too will listen to my voice, and there shall be one flock and one shepherd. A very exciting piece of scripture indeed, girls and boys. So here Jesus is explaining to us that he is the Good Shepherd. Matt explained to us last week that he was the gate and that we can feel safe in this space when we're with Jesus and we have a relationship with him. But in here, Jesus says that he is the Good Shepherd, and so we are the flock, and he is our shepherd. He protects us and he looks after us in this space. So a couple of things for us to think about. First of all, Jesus says he's the good shepherd. When the wolf comes, the hired help, the person who doesn't care about the sheep, they just run away. But Jesus is the good shepherd and says that he will look after the flock during that time. When danger comes, the good shepherd looks after the flock. I also really like it when he says later on that there is another group of sheep that are not of this sheep pen. I have other sheep, he says, that are not of this sheep pen. I must bring them also. They too will listen to my voice, and there shall be one flock and one shepherd. Who's he talking about? You see, Jesus is talking to his disciples and he's saying that he's the shepherd and that he's looking after the flock. But I honestly think he's also speaking to us today, that he is the shepherd, the good shepherd that looks after his sheep. And we are his flock, and he looks after us in this space. So when the wolf comes to destroy, the wolf comes to bring destruction, the wolf comes to really hurt the sheep, the good shepherd will look after us. And so that brings me to my story about that dog running down the road. I couldn't believe my eyes. It came bounding around the side of the house, over the fence, across the road, and it came running and barking straight up to me. Out of the corner of my eye, I see something move. I don't know what it was, but to this day, I believe Jesus was looking after me, because something happened when the dog jumped up on me. It latched itself around my arm and I swung around, and the dog automatically just sort of like let go and went around me, and then went bounding back towards the house, jumped back over the fence, around the side, back up the front stairs, and then disappeared inside the house. I couldn't believe it. I was, of course, at the time, like just packing it. I was scared. I was like, I'm getting out of here. But as I think back and as I reflect, and I definitely saw something at the corner of my eye, I honestly believe that Jesus was looking after me in that space, that he was actually looking after me both physically and he was helping me in that space. I think that's a pretty amazing thing, that Jesus would go out of his way to look after his flock. But you see, that's what this is saying, girls and boys. Sometimes things do happen though, don't they? Sometimes things happen and we've got to go through the bad moment. So just say that the dog that was attacking me had actually latched itself on my arm and had done some very bad damage to my arm. The good news is, the promise is that even in those times, Jesus is still the good shepherd. He still looks after us during those moments. He still will be with us during that time. He'll make certain that he is with us, and that sometimes life gets hard, but he will travel with us because he is our shepherd and we are his sheep. Girls and boys, the term is nearly finished. We are halfway through it. We've only got 5 weeks to go, and then Christmas is so nearly here. So I look forward to seeing you all again later, and I also look forward to sharing with you another part of our series, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.